Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and I want to talk about etiquette in regards to outdoor living, which is confusing for a lot of people, especially people who don't live outdoors. There are times and places where if you see somebody's property laying around, it's best to leave it alone, and there are other times when sometimes it's up for grabs or it should be cleaned up and thrown away, and the line between is ambiguous sometimes to a lot of people. They have to make a judgment call, they don't feel comfortable, and they look for direction from other people, and they just don't know how to handle it. So here's some handy guidelines if you're in that situation. Generally speaking, if something is left on the sidewalk and it doesn't have a note on it of sorts, now whether it's plugged in, that's a form of a note obviously, or if it has an actual literal note that says somebody's name, or if it's a piece of luggage or a backpack or something, you would probably leave that alone because somebody's going to come back for that. But if it's something like that was left behind and it's in a very open space where it's public and visible, it becomes a matter of time before somebody's going to pick it up. And if it's of use to you, it's either you or the next guy who's going to grab that thing, and you by all means should at that point, regardless of who it belongs to or who you think it belongs to. And if you feel like going the extra mile and returning it to the person you may suspect it belongs to, but you're not sure, that's a courtesy, but it's not required. Okay, so some of this is obvious. I want to reemphasize one more time the note factor, because there's a symbolic courtesy that people extend in the other direction, where if you have, say a bicycle or something like that, and you don't want it to be up for grabs, you don't want people to try to mess with it or take it, you can do just some obvious but very, simple and insecure thing, like, placing it under something that is an obvious attempt to conceal it a little bit, but it's just the symbolic effect of I'm coming back for this. It's the message that this isn't yours, it's mine, I'm coming back for it, and I'm going through this arbitrary gesture just to make it hidden a little bit so you know what it means. And it's not necessarily meant to hide it completely or make it difficult to take. But a lot of these things, once you live on the street, you start to recognize them and use them, and they come in very handy for, property management, because it becomes a big thing. So also, the last thing I'll say at 2.5 minutes is being tidy is very important. There's a conception, or misconception I should say, that disadvantaged people deserve all the biggest breaks. They deserve to be given special respect and special considerations. Yes and no. Okay, so like in my first example, like if you're disadvantaged or disabled in the sense that you can't go far away from the center of town, for example, and you're like literally living on the sidewalk right outside, you are only disadvantaged if in fact you have to comb through the area where you slept to make sure you didn't leave anything behind. That would be how you are disadvantaged, because you have an extra hardship that you have to make absolutely sure that you didn't leave anything out in the open, right in the sidewalk where people walk. That would be how and why you're disadvantaged. Otherwise, you're privileged. If people are extending you all these special considerations and respects, and trying to chase you down to give you back the stuff that you left behind, you would be very privileged in that case, and you wouldn't be disadvantaged at all. So it's a gray area. There's a gray area between it, and sometimes people just need that incentive to remember to not, leave their trash laying around, or if it's something that was valuable to them, be careful with it, or leave a note, so to speak, some kind of symbolic thing. I'm coming back for this, like I already said. So reach out if you like with questions or comments down below. Be safe, be respectful. Err on the side of respect if you can, but also keep your area tidy. And if you don't, you have no more complaints or sympathy from me if your stuff gets taken. So that's it. Have a great day. Thank you.